stop right here. This message did not reach you by accident. You have felt it for days. Maybe longer, a strange weight around your name. A quiet tension around your reputation. A sense that something has been moving in rooms where you were not present. Chosen one. God is bringing this to the surface because someone has handled your identity without honor. A document was altered. A signature was copied. A file was moved. Something that should have stayed protected was placed into the wrong hands. And now a story is being shaped as if you approved what you never touched. But hear this, clearly this is not the moment to panic. This is the moment to become spiritually alert. Do not give your enemies the reaction they are waiting for. Do not explain yourself to people who are already committed to confusion. Do not step into every conversation just because your name is being mentioned. Michael says, "The hand that forged in secret will not remain hidden before the light of God." Heaven saw the first movement. The Lord saw the paper before it was passed along. He saw the motive beneath the smile, the jealousy beneath the loyalty, the plan beneath the polite words. And now God is placing a divine interruption between you and the trap that was meant to close around you. Pay attention to the details. A message may come with strange timing. A person may become overly friendly. Someone may avoid your eyes when your name is spoken. An opportunity may appear helpful, but your spirit will not feel peace about it. Trust that warning. The Bible says in Luke 1:22 that nothing hidden will remain covered, and nothing concealed will remain unknown. That word is not decoration. It is a promise over this season. Your name is not lost in accusation. Your future is not controlled by a forged page. Your peace is being guarded while God prepares the exposure. Before we go deeper, write in the comments, "God will clear my name." Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with someone who needs strength in a silent battle. Because the next thing God reveals will not only be the paper, it will be the hands that touched it. The danger did not begin with a stranger. It began with someone close enough to know where you kept your trust. Someone stood near your work, your papers, your private details, your ordinary routines, and learned enough to use access as a weapon. That is why this betrayal cuts so deeply. It was not only a document that was touched, it was the sacred place in your heart where you believed they were safe. They knew your kindness. They studied your patterns. They understood how you speak, how you respond, how you sign, how you move through responsibility without suspicion. And because your heart was open, they assumed your guard was weak. But God saw what you did not see. He saw jealousy growing beneath compliments. He saw greed hiding behind cooperation. He saw the quiet resentment of someone who could not celebrate the favor heaven placed on your life. And this is where the spirit of C is. Lewis brings a deeper warning. Evil rarely announces itself as evil at first. It often begins as a small permission inside the heart. A private excuse. A hidden pride that says, "I deserve what they have. I should have been chosen. I can bend the truth just once." Lewis understood that the human soul does not usually fall in one dramatic leap. It drifts when it stops surrendering its desires to God. That is what happened here. Someone close allowed envy to become agreement with darkness. They touched what was not theirs. They copied what should have stayed protected. They carried your name into a plan that was never born from God. But do not let this make you bitter. Let it make you discerning. Not everyone near your assignment is assigned by God to walk with you. Some are allowed close enough to reveal what is in them, not to destroy what is in you. Michael says, The mask is thinner than they believe, and the light of God is already pressing through it. So stay steady. Do not chase every face. Do not accuse everyone around you. Watch quietly. The Lord will separate the loyal from the false, the witness from the weapon, the helper from the hidden hand, because the next sign will not come through a loud confession. It will come through nervous behavior, sudden silence, and a spirit that can no longer hide what guilt has placed upon it. Have you noticed how the atmosphere changes when your name is mentioned? Have you felt the room tighten? The voice shift? The eyes move away too quickly, as if everyone knows a sentence you were never allowed to hear. Do not ignore that. This is not a small misunderstanding anymore. This is not gossip floating without direction. This is a constructed movement, a silent net being pulled closer, and the enemy is counting on you to dismiss the signs until the moment they are used against you. Comment, "I see the signs," if your spirit has already been warning you, because what you are sensing is not weakness. It is discernment, waking up under pressure. Someone may suddenly become too quiet around you, not because they have nothing to say, but because guilt has taught their mouth to hide. Someone may talk too much, over-explaining simple things, filling silence with nervous words because truth is pressing against their chest. Someone may send you a link that looks harmless, a reminder, a policy update, a document request, a message that seems ordinary on the surface, but your spirit will hesitate before your finger moves. Listen to that hesitation. In this season, peace is not just a feeling, it is a signal. If something looks convenient but feels contaminated, step back. If an opportunity opens too quickly, with too much pressure, too little clarity, and no room for prayer, do not rush through that door. They may be setting a stage, not offering a blessing. The trap is not only in the forged paper, it is in the reaction they are trying to provoke from you. They want you anxious. They want you defensive. They want you to click too fast, speak too soon, sign too quickly, walk into the wrong conversation, answer the wrong accusation with the wrong emotion. But God is slowing your spirit down before damage can accelerate. Proverbs 3:5-6 says to trust in the Lord with all your heart, not to lean on your own understanding, and He will direct your paths. That means you do not have to understand every shadow to obey the light God gives you. The spirit of C.S. Lewis reminds us that fear drags the soul into imaginary tomorrows, making you carry battles God has not placed in your hands yet. But faith brings you back to the present step. Breathe, watch, pray, wait, obey. You are not called to panic over what might happen. You are called to stand under the wisdom of God in what is happening now. So do not call your discernment paranoia. Do not apologize for noticing patterns. Do not silence the warning just because the person wearing the mask once made you feel safe. Heaven is training your eyes to see without hatred and your heart to respond without fear. If this confirms what you have been feeling, write in the comments, "Lord, guide my steps," because the next part reveals why your silence is not weakness. They expected you to panic, but heaven trained you to be still. The reason they are becoming nervous is not that you have exposed them yet. It is because you have not reacted the way they expected. They built this trap expecting panic. They expected you to rush into conversations with trembling hands, to send emotional messages, to defend yourself in a way they could twist, to say one sentence too much and give them the fragment they needed to make their lie look believable. But something in you has changed. You did not explode. You did not collapse. You did not beg for a seat at the table where they were discussing your name. And that silence is disturbing them more than your anger ever could. Hear this clearly. Chosen one, your silence is not surrender to them. It is surrender to God. It is the sacred refusal to let fear become your master. It is the moment your flesh wants to scream, but your spirit remembers that the battle does not belong to your panic. Exodus 1:4 says, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." That stillness is not weakness. It is warfare under divine command. It is a soldier holding position because heaven has not given the order to move. They want noise because noise creates confusion. They want a reaction because reaction can be edited, quoted, exaggerated, and used as false evidence. But your calm is ruining their script. Michael says, your restraint is being guarded, and your silence is becoming a sword in the hand of God. This is where the deeper lesson begins. Lewis understood that the human soul becomes most dangerous to darkness when it stops pretending it can control everything and finally yields itself to God. The self that must always explain, always prove, always win the room, is easily dragged by fear. But the soul that rests in God carries a strange authority. It does not need to perform innocence every second, because it knows truth has a witness higher than human opinion. That is what is happening inside you now. You are being pulled out of the exhausting need to be understood by people committed to misunderstanding you. You are being delivered from the old chain of over-explaining, overreaching, and over-bleeding in front of those who came only to collect your wounds. Stay still, but stay awake. Stay gentle, but do not be naive. Stay prayerful, but do not hand your trust to every familiar face. Let your words be few. Let your spirit be anchored. Let your steps be clean, because the trap was designed to use your fear as fuel. But God is teaching you to move without fear. And while you are standing still, heaven is not standing idle. The hidden things are shifting. The buried evidence is beginning to rise. The paper trail they trusted is starting to turn against them. But silence does not mean blindness, because now the hidden evidence begins to speak. What if the very proof they thought was erased is still waiting in the dark? What if one small detail, one forgotten record, one overlooked timestamp has been preserved by God to collapse the entire lie? Do not treat this as a minor moment. Chosen one, this is where the trap begins to turn. This is where the forged document stops being a weapon against you and starts becoming evidence against the hands that created it. Write in the comments, the truth will speak. If you believe, heaven misses nothing, because they were careful, but they were not sovereign. They planned, but they were not God. They copied, moved, altered, and rehearsed, but they could not erase the invisible witness of truth. There is a timestamp that does not match their story. There is a security log they assumed no one would check. There is an email sent too early, a message never fully deleted, a file name sitting in the wrong folder, a printed page stuck behind another paper, a camera angle no one remembered, a backup they forgot existed because arrogance made them careless. They thought the document looked flawless, but God does not need 1,000 cracks to expose a lie. He only needs one mark, one delay, one witness, one saved record, one person with enough courage to ask the question they hoped no one would ask. And when that question is asked, the atmosphere will change. Their confidence will not sound the same. Their rehearsed story will begin to shake. The timeline will start to split open. A person who once believed them will hesitate. Someone who stayed neutral will begin to wonder. Someone who helped them will feel the weight of guilt rising in their chest like a stone they can no longer swallow. This is not only evidence, this is divine pressure. This is the hand of God pressing light into the corners where darkness believed it had permanent shelter. You thought you were alone because you could not see anyone defending you. But God was preserving receipts in places your enemies overlooked. He was guarding the small things. He was holding the hidden things. He was keeping the silent records alive until the appointed time. The Spirit of C.S. Lewis reminds us that the future is not a dark kingdom ruled by our fear. It is territory already known by God. Your task is not to control every outcome with trembling hands. Your task is to obey the light given today, to refuse panic, to walk cleanly, to let God bring forward what human strength could never uncover. You do not have to break into rooms to find the truth. You do not have to force every mouth to confess. You do not have to chase the shadow until you become exhausted by suspicion. Heaven knows where the proof is. Heaven knows who touched what. Heaven knows which device was active, which account was used, which hand moved the file, which voice gave the instruction, which person stood close enough to pretend innocence while carrying guilt. Michael says, "What they buried is not dead. It is waiting for the command of God. So stay alert. Pay attention to the unusual message, the sudden call, the delayed apology, the person who says too much without being asked. Watch the door that opens strangely. Watch the file that resurfaces by accident. Watch the name that appears where it should not appear. None of this is random. The truth is gathering itself. The evidence is waking up. The forged paper is losing its power because the light of God is beginning to pass through it. If this confirms what your spirit has been sensing, command, God preserved the proof. Because what comes next is not only exposure, it is reversal. And when heaven brings evidence, the atmosphere around your enemies begins to change. They looked united when they were lying, but they will not stay united when truth starts asking questions. Remember this. Chosen one darkness can cooperate for a season, but it cannot carry the weight of exposure. Their alliance was built on fear, greed, jealousy, and convenience, not on covenant, not on righteousness, not on the fear of God. That is why it is already cracking. One person will begin to pull back. Another will change their wording. Another will suddenly claim they were only following instructions. Someone who once sounded confident will now speak carefully, measuring every sentence, afraid that one wrong word will drag them deeper into the very pit they helped dig for you. The woman who tried to control the story will start losing control of the people around her. The two voices that once stood behind her will not sound as firm when pressure enters the room. Their timelines will not match. Their excuses will not align. Their faces will reveal what their mouths are trying to hide. And this is where you must resist the urge to celebrate too early or strike back with anger. Do not become loud just because they are becoming weak. Do not let revenge dress itself up as justice in your heart. This is spiritual warfare, and the weapon God is placing in your hand is not rage. It is holiness. It is restraint. It is the courage to let truth do what emotion cannot. Michael says, the trap will turn inward, and the lie will begin to accuse its own creators. That means the pressure they designed for you is now returning to them. The anxiety they wanted you to carry is now entering their own conversations. The suspicion they planted around your name is now growing between them. One will wonder who is going to confess first. One will wonder who kept a copy. One will wonder which message, which file, which timestamp, which careless sentence will become the crack that breaks the whole thing open. This is the divine reversal, not because you manipulated the outcome, but because God does not allow darkness to sit forever on a stolen throne. The spirit of C is. Lewis teaches that evil always carries within itself the seed of its own misery, because a soul turned away from God cannot keep peace, even when it seems to win. That is what you are about to witness. They may still smile in public, but peace has left their private rooms. They may still pretend unity, but trust is draining from their circle. They may still speak your name with confidence, but their hearts are beginning to hear footsteps of judgment. Stay clean. Stay prayerful. Stay outside their chaos. God is not asking you to wrestle in the mud with people whose hands are already stained by the trap they created. He is asking you to stand where light can find you, because, while their alliance breaks apart, God is already moving someone unexpected into position. Someone who saw more than they admitted. Someone who will carry the next piece of your vindication. Someone you did not expect to defend you has already seen enough. They may not be the loudest person in the room. They may not be close to you. They may not even understand why their memory has stayed so clear. But God has preserved their witness for this appointed time. While you were wondering who would believe you, heaven was positioning someone who noticed the detail others ignored. A sentence spoken too early. A paper placed where it should not have been. A name mentioned by the wrong person. A meeting that happened when they claimed nothing was happening. This witness may come from the edge of the story. Someone you barely remember. Someone who seemed unimportant. Someone who once stayed silent because they did not yet understand the weight of what they saw. But now the Lord is stirring their conscience. Now the Holy Spirit is pressing truth against their chest. Now they will feel that silence is no longer safety. It is participation, and when they speak, it will not need to be dramatic. One simple sentence may shift everything. That is not what happened. Those words will land like thunder in a room full of rehearsed lies. Do not underestimate the people God can use. C. Izar. Lewis often returned to the idea that God works deeper than human sight can measure. What feels like delay may be preparation hidden beneath the surface. You thought nothing was happening because no one had stepped forward yet. But the Lord was gathering timing, and courage, memory, and evidence into one holy moment. He was not ignoring your tears. He was arranging the witness. He was not absent from the accusation. He was preparing the voice that would interrupt it. Michael says, "The one they overlooked will carry the detail they cannot answer." That is why you must not despair when help does not arrive in the form you expected. God may send a stranger. God may use a quiet observer. God may move through someone who once doubted you but has now seen too much to remain neutral. Your rescue will not be built on begging people to understand you. It will come through divine alignment. The right person, the right memory, the right record, the right room, the right moment. So keep your heart clean. Do not curse the silence before the testimony appears. Do not assume delay means denial. Heaven has witnesses hidden in plain sight. And when the appointed hour comes, your name will be spoken in defense by someone you never had to chase. But before the room changes, something inside you must change too. Can you feel what this season has been doing inside you? The betrayal wounded you, but it also separated you. The accusation shook you, but it also awakened you. The trap was meant to destroy your name, yet God is using it to purify your discernment, your attachments, your obedience, and the places in your heart where you kept giving access to people who never honored the weight of your calling. Comment, purify me. Lord, if you know this pain has been heavy, but somehow holy, because this was never only about a forged document. It was about what God needed to remove before your next door opened. They thought they were exposing you, but heaven was exposing the relationships that could not travel with you into your next season. They thought they were weakening you, but the Lord was breaking old chains quietly. Chains of over-trusting, over-explaining, over-giving, over-bleeding for people who only came close enough to take from your spirit. You are not the same person who entered this storm. You are sharper now, wiser now, slower to hand out trust, quicker to hear the warning beneath a polished voice, more willing to pause before you sign, before you answer, before you open the door, before you let another smiling face stand too close to your assignment. This is purification. It does not always feel gentle. Sometimes it feels like loss. Sometimes it feels like loneliness. Sometimes it feels like God is taking people away before you understand why. But Romans 8:28 declares that God works all things together for good for those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. That does not mean every action against you was good. What they did was wrong. The lie was wrong. The manipulation was wrong. The betrayal was wrong. But God is so sovereign that even what was meant to stain you can be turned into oil for your head. The spirit of C is. Lewis shows us that pain is never holy by itself. But God can use pain to wake the soul from false comforts and bring it back to the only refuge that cannot be forged, stolen, or manipulated himself. You may have wanted the situation to end quickly, but God is doing something deeper than a quick rescue. He is teaching you where not to return. He is showing you which doors were traps, wearing the costume of opportunity. He is training your peace to recognize danger before your mind can explain it. And He is rebuilding